just let it breathe. Beautiful if you ask me, tend to analyze. That's a part of my thoughts that I don't glamorize.
What's poppin', guys? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome. Every time I film, there's always something wrong. Like, it was good. This is about 2 weeks of good nails. I work at a restaurant, so like these bitches be popping off. Like, I'm really at this point, I really kind of just need to give my nose a break, because like if y'all really look at it, like that shit's not cute, you know? So anyways, for today's video, no, what am I doing? For those who don't know, I am Ayana Shaitan, and so obviously I am still an amateur and I still suck at intros, so I gotta restart this all over again. Welcome to my channel. What's poppin', y'all? I am Ayana Shaitan, for those who don't know, and for those who are not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'll give you a second to do that. I'm gonna titties out, so okay sis. Okay, by now you should have done so. Welcome to La Familia. For today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 red flags when it comes to relationships. Obviously, there's a lot more than 5 red flags when it comes to What? It's obviously a lot more than 5 red flags when it comes to relationships. So I'm just really taking from my experiences, the different people or the different guys that I've dealt with in the past. I realized that it is a consistent 5. So, you know, I just felt like these were like something that is probably the most important, at least to me, when it comes to red flags. So I just decided that I wanted to share this with you guys, because these are some gems for sure. And I would not speak on anything that I haven't been through already. If you want to see how to get through a relationship show, keep watching. For number 1, we have how that person grew up. When it comes to your childhood, and where you grew up, the environment you were around, the people you surrounded yourself with, family members, friends, it is important that, and I speak based off of how I grew up. You know, not everybody has a healthy, functional family or lifestyle. So like, whether that person grew up in the hood, or that person had toxic parents, whether that person had an absent parent, or whatever the case may be, the situations that we went through as children, it molds us into the people that we are today. Whether that person has decided to wallow, is that the word? To dwell off the past and self-pity, or what am I trying to say right now? Whether that person has decided to dwell in self-pity and play victim and like, well, it's me, well, it's because I grew up this way, this, that, and the third, or whether that person's like, yeah, I went through shit, but like, I'm trying to be better than my past, or I'm trying to break whatever generational curses that they have been impacted by when they were growing up. So I feel like that is very, very important, that they do have a toxic family, or if they have disloyal family, a crazy family, or whatever the case may be, and they're very close to them. Obviously, people are going to be closer with their family members. Like, you could be close to somebody and still recognize, like, no, I'm not going to be like that. Or you can be really close to them and start picking up the same habits. So whether that person is picking up those bad, toxic habits, or whether that person is recognizing and saying, well, this is what I'm not going to be, it is important to know that with your significant other, or your partner, or your potential bae, or whatever the case may be, because family's everything. Family's bond. So if they have like an ancient family, then probably they're not gonna be shit too, unless they recognize that their family needs some help. Period. And for number 2, we're going to be talking about their past relationships, or how their other relationships prior to you ended. Obviously, don't judge somebody by their past. Don't judge them by who they were in a relationship for, etc., 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 etc. But it is important to know the past and understand how that person's relationships ended, whether he cheated, she cheated, or whatever the case may be. Whether they, like I said, like whether they got cheated on, whether that person was being lied to, that person was being mistreated, whether that person was in a domestic violence relationship or whatever the case may be. Going through hell with somebody is very traumatic. It could potentially influence you in a negative way, whether you've been heartbroken. I know it's a lot more common when it comes to guys. I'm convinced, guys, that guys have one time to get their heart broken, then it's a wrap for everybody else. Like, they will forever be scarred, and I feel like that is so annoying because it's like, really, like, not every female's the same. Just like, I've been through shit when it comes to guys, and I still don't look at the next guy and be like, oh, well, I can't trust you because of such and such and such and such that happened to me in the past, you know? It's all about how they grew or what they took from those past relationships. Like, yes, it may have been a negative experience, but how did you grow? How did that build your character? And what did that teach you for the relationships to come in the future? Number 3 is going to be how they treat others. When you first start dating somebody, cupcake phase, whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to say you fake the fuck, but it is pretty faked. You know, girls, they want to act a lot sweeter than what they are, a lot less crazier than what they are. We're a lot more tolerable and lenient when it comes to certain things when you first start dating a person. So I feel like when you first start out, a person really only gets like 30 to 40% of who you really are. They don't know anything about your background. They don't know anything about how you deal with stress or arguments or whatever the case may be. So it's kind of just like, you know, you're this sweet person when you first start out. You know, like, you're going on cute little dates, you're taking pictures and this and that and that. You haven't really had the opportunity to go through life situations with that person, so it's really hard to know like who that person really is or how they're going to react when it comes to dealing with real shit. It's you really got to look at how they treat other people or how they treat their family members, how they treat strangers, how they treat their other friends. Like, are they loyal? Are they trustworthy? Are they honest? Are they like helpful, respectful? All those traits. If they have a baby mama and they don't take care of those kids, and they treat their baby mama like shit, probably best for you to steer clear, because eventually you're gonna fall in that trap too as well, and he's going to do the same thing to you. And I don't want any females to be like, oh, well, he's different and this, that, and that. No. Show me a man that's different from how he treats other people towards you. Wait, how am I trying to say this? Show me a man or a female that treats somebody badly and eventually doesn't treat you badly as well. Like, it's just, no, it's never been a case. Number 4 would be efforts. I don't give a fuck. Excuse my French, but when it comes to dating, we're grown as fuck. We all got shit going on. We all got lives to live. We all have working schedules. We have school schedules. We may have kids. We may have family shit going on. Whatever the case may be. If you feel like you're drowning in that shit, or you feel like I just don't have time, or I'm too tired, or I don't have the money for it, then you have no business trying to interact with another human being on a romantic level anyway. So like, if you don't have time to take me out, or if you don't have time to call me or text me, or if you're too tired to go hit a movie with me later, then like, bitch, get your shit together, then try again later. Because honestly, I feel like a lot of that is excuses, because people will make time for what they want, who and what they want to make time for. People will schedule stuff. People will be creative when it comes to dates and stuff like that, when they really, really, really want to invest themselves in a person. So like, don't ever fall for that bullshit when a guy or a female is like, oh, well, I'm just too busy, or I have a lot going on right now. Like, understandable if you do have a lot going on, but like, at the same time, if you got shit going on, either let me be there for you and let me help you get through that shit, or if you don't want me there, then just hit me up when you ready. Like, because nobody has time to be sitting here going in circles with somebody like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take you out this day, just wait till I get my money up. Like, no, bitch. It costs $20 to take me to a picnic. Like, a sip and paint, which is very common right now, is about $20 too. You can buy an $8 bottle of wine. Walmart has like 3 portraits for like $4. Like, please, people are gonna make time for what they want to make time for. And if they don't make time for you, they don't put an effort into your relationship, where you just feel like it's just a one-sided thing, then it really is a one-sided thing, and you really just need to keep it pushing, because I'm pretty sure there's other people who want to give you the world. So like, why are you wasting some time on somebody who can't even fucking give you a phone call or ask you or take you out somewhere for real besides chilling at his house? Number five is very important. It is how that person responds in an argument. You want to pay attention to this when you first start dating. Like, yes, when you first start dating somebody, there are going to be petty arguments. It's not really going to be anything real, but how they respond. You have those guys who are like, K. Pretty much I come to the assumption that if a guy just texts you back and say K, he didn't read that shit. Either he didn't read it, or he really doesn't care. So you might as well just not care either and just cut him off. Or you have a guy who really just blocks you. If he blocks you, he just doesn't want to hear it, then fine, block him back and don't unblock him. I am very famous for that. This is why I don't block people, because like, especially like, you know, like somebody that I'm probably eventually going to talk to again, because if I block you, I will forget to unblock you. Like, you will sit here and be like, why am I not unblocked? Why am I not unblocked? Why am I not unblocked? And it's just like, whatever, bitch. Like, you're just going to stay there. You earned your place there. You're going to keep your place there, period. Never tolerate that if he blocks you, or if how aggressive he is when it comes to arguing. Like, we're grown as fuck. Why can't we just sit and communicate? Like, yeah, shit's going to get heated sometimes, you know. Like, obviously, I'm not talking, like, fairy tale shit, but it's how you handle it. It should never be a situation where we're fighting each other. Really, you're getting past the point, or you're getting past the objective, or the whatever the argument is about. It's not really what y'all are fighting about at that point. It's really just who you're fighting over, who's right. And no, we gotta sit down and be like, look, like, and even when it comes to females really do, like, I have to say, like, we assume a lot, we like attack a situation, we jump to conclusions, and we really don't know how to properly communicate. But if we were to just sit down and be like, look, like, this is what, like, I didn't fuck with this, like, this hurt me, or whatever the case may be, like, I'm really not, this don't sit right with me. If a guy reacts and, like, he just goes crazy and be like, oh, well, you're this, that, and other, you're always assuming stuff, and it's really not like that, and blah, 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 you're too sensitive, and bitch, fuck you. Like, at that point, because no, nobody has time for that. Like, we're not fucking little kids. Be like, okay, either you respect it. If you don't respect it and you want to lash out, then honestly just cut it off before like feelings get too deep, because the more and more you put up with it, the worse and worse those situations are going to get. The longer you guys are together, it could lead to something a lot more than just arguments, or just him being up in your face, or whatever the case may be. Like, no, just fucking no. So yeah, those are the top 5 that I've given. So I'm gonna just go ahead and rerun those 5. Number 1 is how that person grew up, what type of environment that person grew up with, how his family's like, etc., etc. Then number 2 is their past relationships, how those relationships ended, what that person took out of those past relationships as well. Number 3 is how that person treats other people, strangers, friends, family members, etc. And number 4 is the effort that they put into when it comes to fucking with you, because you should not just be treated like any Joe Blow, obviously, especially if you want to fuck with me. Like, there's a line. So, like, if you're not going to do right, go to the end of it until you have your shit together, period. And then number 5 is how they respond in an argument, how they handle arguments, and the whole 9. With all of that being said, I feel like something that is very important when it comes to red flags in general is always go with your intuition. Like, you may recognize like certain small traits of a person, and it just doesn't sit right with you, or you know, like, if something in your gut is like, no, something's off, then it's probably best for you to leave that situation as soon as possible, because the more you invest your time and your emotions into someone, the harder it is to let go of that person, the harder it is to walk away from that person, the harder it is to stop tolerating the BS. And the more BS that you do put up with, or if you show a guy or a girl that you're very tolerable of things, like, yes, it doesn't sit right with you and you have a problem with it and you guys argue about it, but you still forgive that person, you still take that person back, the less respect that person is going to have for you. When I say respect, is more so like no, I'm just gonna do what I want because she or he is not going anywhere. Like, you never want a person to feel like that. You want a person to be shaking in their boots, be like, oh my god, like, this bitch is about to leave me, like, I really need to get my shit together. Like, you need to have a nigga or a female scared, like, really, really, like, okay, let me get my shit together before I lose this person. Once they value your place in their life, they're not gonna do shit to put themselves in a situation to lose you. So, you know, that's gonna come with respect, that's gonna come with effort, that's gonna come with communicating, handling situations or arguments properly, that's gonna come with breaking generational curses, and et cetera, et cetera. All of it pretty much ties together, really just how much that person's feeling you. And if you're recognizing any type of red flags in the beginning, get out in the beginning. It's not gonna get any better. I swear to God. I've been through it, I've lived through it, and I've lived through multiple different people. So, like, it's just no. Big fat no. But that's about it for this video. I will see you guys in my next one. Thank you so much for watching, and mucho beso.